my special assistant, which I thought you would like to meet today. We could go a lot of different places with our lessons. They are varied, but they do cluster around a single theme. And I thought that given the presence of all the animals today, we should just talk about the most general theme of all the deer. She has 10 barks, and this is her hello bark. I want to meet you. And why aren't you paying attention to me? It's okay. She's very funny. So of her 10 barks, they remind me of the 10 Anglican grunts that were taught in seminary. Did you know there are Anglican grunts that we have to practice? And one of the grunts is, another grunt is, another grunt is, so we work on these grunts. But Tavish is here, and she wants to meet all of you. And I also brought in some other friends that I have at home. And I'm sure you all know who these are. Which is the one in blue? Yes? Yes, good. And what is the one in orange? Yes. BB-8. So I bring in R2 a lot, and I can turn R2 on, and it doesn't bother Tavish. But if I turn BB-8 on, Tavish goes crazy. And BB-8 likes to try to follow Tavish. Tavish does not like this. And our lessons today have the theme of what it means to be part of a big family, a big community, a Christian family. Particularly the letter to Timothy tells us how to care for one another and how we should behave with one another and treat one another well. And Tavish treats R2-D2 pretty well, but Tavish does not treat BB-8 well at all. And so that is a lesson, I think, for us. And if any of you want to play with BB-8 or with R2-D2 after the service, they're fully charged, and I invite you to come back up and do it. BB-8 is quite remarkable, but BB-8 also has a strange character design flaw. BB-8's head, moves around just like in the movies. But when BB-8 hits something, his head falls off. And he makes this funny sound that says sort of, my head falls off. This like electronic whimper. Sort of the Anglican grunt that goes. So, I want you to think about that if his head falls off. And also take this lesson too. Take the lesson that being part of a community is sometimes we don't get along with one another, but we have to try to do so with as much compassion and caring as long as we can. And sometimes even when we're trying, even when Tavish is probably not trying very well, heads can fall off. We can lose our temper. Things can happen. And what happens with BB-8 when his head falls off is you have to put his head back on. And there's a magnet at the top. And if you don't put the head on right on the magnet, it's not going to stay on. It's going to fall off again. So that's kind of like life too, isn't it? Sometimes if we lose our heads, we have to remember how to put them back on best. How to do that. And the letter to Timothy and all our lessons today tell us that we do that best when we turn to God, we ask for God's help, and we remember that we're part of a family and a community that Jesus is calling to serve each and every one of us. And sometimes we get served, and sometimes we have to be the servants. So that is my message today for all of you. And now we're going to bless all the animals. And boy, does Tavish need a blessing today.